John Cruz here, and I've got your recap from the Lake Falcon event down there in Zapata, Texas. Had a third place finish, really awesome. That place is the average size fish down there is big, but the population is not anywhere near what it was 5 years ago when we were down there. But still, I was able to catch over 100 pounds, which is phenomenal. Anytime you can do that, you got to be so pumped. I'm telling you, I was really excited to be able to catch a big enough stringer that last day to get me over that 100-pound mark. Had 103.13 just off the top of my head. So that was really cool. I had two main baits and two patterns that I was fishing. I was fishing shallow and deep. There's a lot of flooded mesquite trees. Even though the lake's 30 feet low, there was a lot of flooded mesquite trees, and that was where I was headed when I started shallow flipping. I got down there on the first day of practice, and I had one bite from sunup until 3:30, and I was fishing the D-bomb and some other bigger, bulkier baits. You know, I was going after big fish, and I thought something was a little wrong. I knew that the fish were a little post-spawn, so I dropped down and I started fishing with the missile crawl. And as soon as I put that missile crawl on the first flip, I caught a small one. Then about 2 flips later, I caught a 2-pounder. And then a few minutes later, I caught a 4. A few minutes later, I caught a 5.5. And that's after having one bite all day. So I knew right then that the missile crawl was the deal to flip. And anywhere I ran, I was able to refine that pattern a little bit more as I was fishing around the lake and getting more bites. And Tuesday, Wednesday in practice, it was not hard at all to go to the bank and get some bites. Not sure exactly what size all of those fish were because I was just shaking them off. Like I said, the fishing was relatively tough, so I didn't want to overdo it with catching all those fish in practice when it didn't count. But I also practiced deep about 75% of the time in practice. I knew that if I could find a deep offshore location that was holding a lot of fish, there were going to be bigger average fish, and they definitely were. And out of all the hours of idling around and fishing, I found 3 places that were holding fish in practice. And so the Little John DD was the damage maker on all those deep spots. Had the number 2 treble hooks on there, Gamakatsus as always, and I had it on 12-pound vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon. You got to be able to feel every little rock down there, and man, I found some really rocky little areas down there. But 16 out of the 20 fish that I weighed over the 4 days were all on the missile crawl. Most all my bigger fish were on this missile crawl. The 8.6 that I caught on the very last cast, missile crawl. I was fishing with the green pumpkin red during the sunny days and during the sunny times, and in the low light periods I was fishing super bug, which is a darker black with blue flake, and green pumpkin with blue flake laminate. So those were my two color choices. I had a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight, and if it was real windy, I would go up to a 5/16 ounce tungsten weight. I was fishing the missile crawl on 25-pound vicious Pro Elite fluorocarbon. Man, you had to go to the big line to be able to get them out of those mesquite trees. Those fish down there are super mean. I know they've been caught, a lot of those fish have been caught a bunch of times before, but they are still super mean, and they're still a lot of fun. So you just kind of set the hook, hold them, let them come out of that cover, but you got to have that 25-pound test to get them out of there. And those were my 2 main baits. Those were my 2 patterns that I kind of alternated back and forth between during the tournament, and I was able to come away with a 3rd place finish. I was a number of pounds behind Keith Combs, who ended up winning the event. Congratulations to Keith. And so what my time to win. So we go on to Bull Shoals, and hopefully we'll be able to bring a trophy home there.